know what's going on. Welcome back to Turn My Mic Up. I'm Jay Alonso from Back to the Classics. Back with the fellas, back with the team. Gonna start to my right here.
What it do? It's your boy RJ representing Lace Rounds Podcast. Fortunately, I couldn't make it to the first one due to some personal shit going on. But I'm here, about to get ready and cook with my boys.
We held it down for you.
Yeah, you did, man. Y'all did, man. So let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hollywood Kev, Noise Podcast. Let's go.
It's King Corey from Over the Top LV.
Motherfucking What's going on? It's Big Los from the Noise Podcast. We in here.
Everybody's doing the intros like this.
I have my phone in my hand. I didn't even, that's just
a new wave right now. We're here.
It's a new wave, man. It's a new wave.
Turn My Mic Up, back in the day here for another episode. Today, we're gonna be reviewing the game's final album, Born to Rap.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote Born to Rap. It's like a deep type kind of a thing, but I'll kick it off, man. 25 songs. Overall, I like the project. I think it's pretty dope. I've come to expect certain things from Game, personally, where it's like, I know Game can put together a good album. You feel what I'm saying? However, Game falls into this weird pit of, we know what filler sounds like. You feel what I'm saying? Like, certain songs just doesn't belong here. Now, like most Game albums, this track list starts off, it's a great flow to it. Game has always had a bomb-ass ear for beats. You feel what I'm saying? The first single, West Side, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but the second single, Stainless with Anderson .Paak, slaps heavy. You know what I'm saying? Also, while it's not necessarily a negative, I also feel like the Nipsey Hussle tributes, that's your man's, I get that, but we're talking about 3 songs where it's basically a Nipsey thing. You know what I'm saying?
Including the one with Nipsey.
Including the song with Nipsey on it, you feel what I'm saying? So, another takeaway I would give for this album, I think it's really dope. Game has been known to have like the entire industry on this album. We get at one time. And usually, if there's a lot of people on the album, you'll get 8-9 verses on one song, you feel what I'm saying? On this album, it's no different because though he has a selected, a good amount of people on this album, they all don't have verses. They're there for the hook, they're there kind of talk the way out, but it's primarily Game. And we haven't heard this Game in a while. Yeah. And furthermore, he got more solo records by himself, even though some of those solo records can really not make this album, you know what I'm saying? My favorite record is The Code with 21 Savage.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Track is dope.
If this is gonna be the album that you go out the game with, no pun intended, I think you went out pretty strong. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an hour and a half long, something like this. Like Jesus Piece is what, 11 songs long?
Yeah, like 11, close to 14, I want to say.
Between 11 and 14, right?
Yeah,
but the way the album was crafted is like, all right, cool. I can see this being like an actual project you kind of saw from beginning to end. You dig what I'm saying? With me and this album, though it is dope, for the beats dope, even with Game, let's talk about Game does stay on subject for most other albums, which is pretty solid for me. I just feel like it's just too damn long. I don't have, you're literally watching a movie, bro.
No, boy.
Pretty much, you know what I'm saying?
Pretty much.
Personally, to me, I like the hour and a half because you gotta think, it's quality over quantity. It took him 3 years to do this album. Because most niggas nowadays, they constantly putting out bodies of work every year. And I mean, no disrespect, it's cool, but sometimes you oversaturate the market way too much. And eventually your fans and your core fans are gonna get tired.
You're gonna burn your own fan.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're gonna burn them out. Now me personally, I'm just gonna throw it out there. With his catalog is not disappointing, and to me, like, he doesn't get enough credit for that at all. But like overall, like from the project, like the beginning to end, like how it was well put together, like how it opened up, and then you get to $500 Candles with Dom, fire.
Slapper, yeah.
Carmen Electra with the D'Angelo Devil's Pot sample, fire. I mean,
that was a great use of a sample.
Yeah, bro.
That was a really good use of a sample.
And gotta give it up to Mozzie. Mozzie cooked on that shit.
He did.
Like, 40 Ounce Love, dope. We all love the Nipsey, Welcome Home. Don't get me wrong, I'm with you on that. It was too many references towards Nipsey though, but gotta give respect where it's due. I didn't want to write this song. That's gonna put you in your fucking emotions.
That's
we gotta be honest with that. That'll put you in your emotions, and then I like the fact how that end, and then it picks back up with 21 Savage to call. Come on, man. You like from beginning to end. Kind of like you. it was long, but maybe I want to say maybe if you would have chopped like maybe like 2-3 tracks out of there, I would have been okay with it because this is my thing. Drake just did fucking Scorpion last year. Everybody accept that. So if niggas can accept that, why you can't accept game
But
shit?
you gotta remember, Drake was also an absentee father. He was also he was also a serial fucker. He was knocking everybody's down. He's the only black man that can get away with any of that shit.
He got caught in the smoke.
You know what I'm saying? So Drake is bulletproof. Right?
He got caught in the smoke though. But overall though, if this is the way that he say he's gonna go out, this is a great fucking way to go out, honestly.
Okay.
Like for real. And honestly, I want to say maybe like 2-3 years down the line, this is gonna be a classic. It's really gonna be a fucking classic.
Definitely has the classic production.
And like the samples are just, it's fucking crazy on there, man. So I mean, shout out to Game, shout out to Tech Beats,
Tech was all over this album.
Life of Titus, and then just not only that, like once again, him opening up that door, letting Dom executive produce that, and you could hear the Dom cadences and the flows and the influence throughout the album. So that's what made it dope. Like you're giving a young nigga a chance to shine. So that's what I like about the album. So overall, like I'm fucking with it all the way.
I don't have a problem with the length. I don't have a problem with the length. I mean, actually, some of the albums we reviewed or said about last week, they're almost the same length. I think the problem is with Game, like you said, he makes a lot of the same songs. You get bored.
You get bored.
The deluxe version of Good Kid, Mad City was 1 hour and 32, but you're not bored.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably where the length is coming into place because you get bored. Me personally, as far as the production goes, phenomenal. As far as Dom as a production artist, phenomenal. Now people say Cole is sleepy. That's how I feel about Dom.
Most definitely, but he does have a lazy flow. He has a
I'm fine with the lazy flow. I'm fine with that. But it's just everything else that comes with it. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna give me a lazy flow, but then your track is lazy too. I just can't do it. That's just me.
So that's your skippable.
The blasphemy.
Every time where Game sounded like Game, it will be this album. Like
but my problem with Game is
my
problem with Game is when he's with other niggas, he sounds like them other niggas.
That's always been a problem with Game.
Right. When he's Game, it's he can't be beat damn near.
I think when this album you got Game.
Yeah, you got him. I'm talking about a lot of the songs. It's feature heavy, so I'm talking about those songs. My skippable is actually No Smoke, and only because I feel like he could have left Miguel off that hook.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have Miguel on there, then let Miguel do Miguel.
That's crazy because my skippable is Rewind 2 and Cross on Jesus Back, and definitely the Ed Sheeran joint.
You ain't like Rewind 2?
Ed Sheeran was hard.
Rewind 2 was hard.
Rewind 2 was hard too.
Rewind 2 was like one of the top tracks there.
Overall, I think it's a dope album. I'm not there with like this is the one yet. But again, in a week from now, that could change. Hell, the next time we do the show, that's the one. You know what I mean? But as of right now, it's cool. Sorry.
We're gonna double back for that update too.
But I would say my stance on Dom Kenny's not changing. That's been for like years now. That's not changing.
Nah, man, I can't believe that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, like one of my main issues that I do have with the album is like when he's going into that introspective game, which we don't get that game very often. It's a moment, you feel what I'm saying? But the thing is though, he keeps creating the same moment 3-4 times.
And that's what makes it that's what makes it so long.
Yeah, that's what makes it so long. Maybe chop a Nipsey record. Take I didn't want to write this song. Take the
You have to have.
you gotta keep that.
Keep that on there.
You gotta keep that on there.
If you chop it down from 25 to say maybe a solid 17.
Bro, you want to cut 7 tracks off?
Yeah.
Bro, you're taking away now.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
you take
it's
away.
too long, bro.
It's
too long. But
I can understand.
If maybe those 7 tracks were mixed with what RJ heard, he probably wouldn't fit out.
Well, here's the thing though. If you really think about it, like I said, we all know what filler sounds like.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure the songs that he heard was not filler.
Game, unfortunately, is a filler album kind of nigga. So, for example, we go back to Documentary 2. It didn't need to be 2 discs. Like the first disc of Documentary 2 is, in my opinion, damn near flawless.
I agree with you on that.
But you gotta take some influence from the second disc, throw it on the first disc. You got a damn near perfect album. Let's be 100 about it. But then you got certain songs like "Bitch You Ain't Shit" that didn't need to be on this album.
I agree with that. But you also have to take into account with the era he's coming from. Everybody that he's like been mentored by or came up by has put out a double disc.
He's told us every single name.
Right, so naturally he's gonna put out a double disc.
He mentions them all.
Right,
Game of his name dropping.
oh yeah, well, that's how me love Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre is that nigga's man crush. So yeah.
But you gotta understand, them 90 niggas was like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't pull him from coming from that, though. You know what I'm saying?
But even if you go back and look at like all the Game's projects, depending on what year, he'll tell you what that year was doing. With
Exactly.
the name that he dropped.
The names that he's dropping.
But who thinks I was busting? I don't know, but on LAX. Who was killing around this time? Immediately,
Q was there. Q was there. I mean, I kind of agree with all you guys, man. The album was a long album. I can't quite say cut 7 tracks out, like 7 tracks. I mean, I think you destroyed the album. Cut 7 tracks out. I couldn't even give you, honestly, 7 skips on the album. Like
Even with that, I
can't give you 7 skips. Like that's rough. Out of a 25 album track, which is pretty damn decent, you know, especially for the game and how we're expecting, you know, the game to give us, you know, the same flow or constantly name drop. What I do think that's dope about this album is that we actually got the game. Like, it's been a long time that we've actually heard
got a game out
that sounded like him. And it had, I didn't know Dom Kennedy had executive producing. That's why it has such a California feel to it.
Right. I love that.
And that's what makes it dope. And I think that's what's going to eventually make it a classic when you go back and listen to it. Like, damn, okay, it actually did have a good feel to it. And I mean, it has some banger tracks on it. I mean, Carmen Electra, I'm a big Mozzie fan, so I'll vouch and stand for Mozzie all day. Mozzie, and I think that's big for Mozzie to get actually on a feature on this album. But Carmen Electra, fucking The Code. I think The Code might be my favorite track on here.
Bro, The Code is gonna be. I can hear The Code being in the club for sure.
The Code is
that's a club banger for sure.
Gucci Flip Flops. Like, these are tracks to me that were just like, that stood out to me. And like I said, the production on this album is damn near A1. I honestly like it. And I think like you said before, I don't think Game gets enough credit for introducing the next wave of West Coast hip hop artists. Like, for a while after Dre and Snoop, it was Game. It was nobody else.
Game had the West with his back.
Everybody that you can name, from Don Kennedy to Nipsey to Kendrick, Game has had an influence. He's either took them on tour, he's had them on the tracks. Like, he's introduced these people, and I think for this to be his last album, he actually, you know what I mean, I think he did a real good job on it. It's a real solid album. I think he did start to fall into starting to sound like people that he rapping with, like Living on the Rewind. I like Rewind too, but I think that was all Nas flow, all up and down through that.
And I ain't gonna lie though, as much as like I fucks with Stainless, but I have to give credit. He did nail the Tupac flow to a fucking core.
I did hear when I was
bro, he nailed that shit to a core.
I did say that.
What's hilarious?
He nailed that to the core.
We all kind of got like the same kind of notes in our shit, because on One Life, I even wrote it down. Of course, I said J. Cole-ish.
Solid record though, but even with that, the records are solid, you know, and you kind of almost expect, you know, it's gonna happen. I'm just glad that he didn't go that way and just stay with that. Like, you know, he may have slipped against the track, but then he went right back to sounding like the Game. And like, it's like, he could have probably cut out 3 to 4 songs out of here. He probably could have honestly cut out and made a 2021 track to do it. Probably would have been perfect.
You have
to give us tracks like Dead Homies. You have to. That's
Game. You got certain songs that sound like there would have been a bonus track. You know what I'm saying?
If this was the deluxe version, and like the last 4 songs,
I was just about to say that.
Would you still feel the same?
I would feel a lot different about it.
If it had been like an Apple exclusive album,
I would feel different because I know that the core of the album, from track 1 to track 20 to track 1 to track 17, are crafted to sound like this and flow like this. That's why Good Kid, with their bonus tracks, though it flows with the album, it's not on the album. Like, you know, songs like the Mary J joint or the Collect Calls and all that, it belongs on Good Kid, but it's not on Good Kid. Certain songs on this album, though good songs, it don't fit the narrative of what you're trying to tell me. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
but I don't think his flow was off though. Like, I don't think the flow. I think the CD actually really flowed, and I think he was probably at his peak storytelling. Like, this is storytelling game. Like, he did his thing with the storytelling. I don't think that even with it being 25 tracks, I don't think that it didn't flow. Like, you know, sometimes where Game's known for, you give us a track, you're like, boom, 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 he's like a one from way left field, and it's like, where did that come from? I don't think none of that gave it to us. I mean, there's some tracks you can say, leave off, but I think overall, for the overall album, it pretty much flowed pretty well.
I would say, with the exception of One Life, and Stainless, the last 4 records could definitely be like bonus cuts. That's what I can say. I'll say that.
He said that's friendly.
That'll do it.
And Westside can definitely go to the bonus cut.
Oh man,
definitely.
I can't believe you.
I thought No Smoke was a solid way to open it up. I thought No Smoke was a solid way to open it up. I gotta disagree. I feel like Miguel complimented the record. I think Miguel did what Miguel was supposed to do.
I think if the hook would have been something a little bit more, because I don't think what he said, like 5 words, if it had been something more, then maybe I'd probably feel otherwise. But for just him saying that, I'm like, yeah, it could have.
Now, I will definitely say some of the features on here sound like he got it, like he found out, okay, I got 3 more days to get this album done. I look for this. It's the closest thing to flawless that we'll have out of a game project next to the documentary. Honestly, is what I'll go back to.
I think that's why he had 25 tracks too, man. I think he got all these dope ass production.
Somebody just dropped out of rap on these, somebody dropped an external hard drive on his doorstep. Like, it's 106 beats on here. What? I got on my phone. I can't get all these shit. Right. He said it was 40 records with RJ's light flex in the beginning. He's like, I heard 40 track, bro. But the 25 record is high, you know what I'm saying? One thing though, and I kind of surprised myself because normally his features don't let me down. I was kind of let down by, I was very let down by Gangsters Make the Girls Go Wild. I feel like Chris Brown went
that could have been a bonus track, bro.
That could have definitely been
a bonus track, bro.
That's one of the ones that
it throws momentum off of what you've already kind of riding with, bro. Like, and I love the slide interlude. That can go too, my G. I don't really
I'm starting
need
to think Chris Brown might be binging a little bit because on the Chicks tape, his verse was not there either on the Chicks tape. So I'm like, but this is 2 verses in a row, my nigga. You high? Like, what's going on?
Like, what's happening? With Chris Brown, you gotta find out which high is he.
Yeah.
Like, what was your influence this evening?
Nah, I won't chain smoking Sig, Chris Brown. He be in his bag.
Pumping and dancing. That's wrong.
We Newport Chris.
Right. He got that Newport head. Need to be ash. Yeah, I want that Chris.
I need to make more. And y'all touched on it as well. Roadside with Ed Sheeran didn't need to be there.
Didn't need to be there.
Didn't need to be there.
It didn't need to be there, but I like the song.
And also
it didn't need to be there, but I like the song.
I don't think that should have closed the album out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with that. Should not have been the track.
I think if he would have flipped it and then closed it out with the one with D Smoke, I would have been like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
would have been like, cool. Like that would have been a great closeout.
That's why I say One Life is actually a much better closeout as far as like instrumental, how the song itself kind of rise out to the sunset kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Seagull's dope, but probably one of the most slept on singers to this day.
Yeah.
So, but the way him and Jay Stone kind of like funk the beat out, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And that song is like wrapping up, bro. Like that's how you end an album. But then you get 3 more. Like
you got 3 more songs to go.
Like, I was done at this one. I don't need this.
And then with the last track of Ed Sheeran, it kind of seems like the album just ends. Like, boom.
But
Is this it?
Like this it?
The intro with Ed Sheeran is so cold to me though. Like bro, like
the intro was dope.
If this is the vibe we're going, I'm with this vibe all the way.
No.
But it's just that filler shit.
Gucci flip flops was a throwaway for me. The only reason it was a throwaway, here's why it was a throwaway for me. No one sounded like they really put their all into it except Game. Even if you really listen to that, it's Swiss Beats production. Does that sound like some shit that Swiss had on an external hard drive? Like, oh shit, Game was on the album. I'm gonna throw shit. Hey, I got this Gucci beat that I was gonna give Gucci, but I mean you can have it. You know what I'm saying? It felt throwaway, like, and it felt like Game even sort of felt like it was a throwaway as well. It's like, let me just do my best to it. Nigga, Dre wasn't anywhere. He was mentioned in every fucking song, but you never got a Dre beat. And I feel like with this to be your closeout record, we just had the conversation coming up here. M was gonna hop on Compton no matter what the fuck Compton was about to be because it's Dre's last record.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. But I feel like that same energy wasn't reciprocated to Game.
But
you know what I'm saying?
Let's be honest though. I mean, in 2019, this is the last Game record. Game has gone quite a few projects without Drake. He does really need Drake today.
It's the last record.
I think for sentimental value,
even if it's one record, oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It should have been at least one Dr. Dre.
Yeah, at least one.
Okay.
Like I don't even think Dr. Dre retweeted it. I don't know what kind of involvement Dre had with it. But yeah, what's your favorite song?
All right, so we know what top 5.
However many favorite songs you have.
Favorite songs. All right, so bet. So favorite songs: No Smoke, $500 Candles, Welcome Home. I didn't want to write the song. The Code for sure. Stainless and One Life.
Shit, for me, No Smoke, $500 Candles, Carma Electra, Go Daytonas, 40 Ounce Love. That was that was like a low key slapper, like for real. Welcome Home, Didn't Want to Write This Song, The Code,
So the album.
Hey,
That's what I'm saying. 7 tracks. Take away 7 tracks.
It's no way.
I can name the 7. I took it.
And I ain't gonna lie, I even fuck with the track with Trey Songz, Blood Thicker Than Water.
That's when I got to take
That's one that could have skipped for me. I got that.
I liked it.
Bro, the production on that one was fire.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna front. And of course, One Life with Jay Soda and Masego. Like this whole album didn't disappoint.
No, most definitely. I think overall the album was not a disappointment.
Yeah, bro.
It wasn't a disappointment, even with it being 25 tracks and even you pulling out 7 imaginary tracks you're gonna take off. It wasn't a disappointment, man.
He's like, so the intro and the interlude.
Okay, so
I'll fuck with those.
Again, I didn't sit with it as long, but for right now, the Welcome Home track, like that's probably my favorite now.
Love that record.
Like, yeah, I think I love it how you get what Nip is doing, and then like when the beat cuts out for a second, he's like, nah, fuck that, let me go back. That shit's so hard. I'm curious to know if this was like a 50 disc, but Hug the Block is my shit. He is rapping his ass off. You know what I mean? So as of right now, those two is probably my 2 favorites right now.
Oh man, I'm kind of like RJ. I like the album. So I mean, Gold Daytonas, Welcome Home, of course. I think that was actually like probably like the almost best use of a Nipsey verse, man. Especially like
we heard this year.
You know, like that was.
I say it's better than Higher than College.
No, bullshit. I think so too.
Yeah, better than Higher shit, bro.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one.
I said Gold Daytonas, man. I definitely like The Code. I think The Code and with 21 Savage, man, that was different, man. That kind of hit us. It was out of the blue, man. And then Carmen Electra, man. Like I said, I'm a big Mozzie fan, man. I think that was a perfect feature for Mozzie also. But yeah, I mean, the whole album generally is dope to me, man. I probably only got like 2 skips, maybe 3 on here that I would just skip.
So I got No Smoke, $500 Candles, got The Light. I also got Carmen Electra. Only thing I like about Carmen Electra is Game coming in saying Carmen Electra. Yeah. I was like, you listen to the whole record and you just kind of like, what's the correlation?
Especially with dead homies. It's like, wait a minute, what are we talking about?
But you've come to accept that from Game. He'll just kind of just throw, like, I hate to keep going back to it, but it's just like Rick Ross. Rick Ross will just throw out a line somewhere and it's like, that has nothing to do with it. But okay, it happens. Dead Homies is there. I'm trying to figure out, is this my favorite record on here?
I like Dead Homies. I fucked
with Dead Homies, man.
Bro.
It's one of my picks.
But the message gets lost. Like, what are we talking about?
But you know what though? That's kind of Red Cafe as well. Like, Red Cafe is always
he gets the shade too. But like, if we're talking about like fucking somebody, right? Where do the Dead Homies come in? As far as that's what I'm trying to pull off.
It's Carmen Electra. Gold Daytonas is on there. Welcome Home, absolutely on there. Hate to be cliche, but Welcome Home is definitely on there.
Yeah.
Stainless, I know it was a single, but that record is fucking solid.
It's such a vibe.
Right,
And I got to agree with RJ. Blood thick in the water.
Yeah, man.
That's
wait. You didn't put I Didn't Want to Write the Song on there?
I didn't want to write this song.
I didn't want to write it down.
I didn't want to add it to my list.
That's probably the most emotional and introspective
that
ever heard.
That track is that track hit home too. Like, this track is.
I think honestly, like that's like the second emotional track that I ever heard. Because the first one, I want to say hands down, Kendrick, Sing About Me. Like, that Sing About Me.
And I think that's what he was going for.
And put you in that mindset.
Did I write down Kendrick?
So when I hear that, it gave me that same. I was like, whoa.
You do the prayer, bro.
Yeah, man. Like,
and I think that should have been the end of the Nipsey puns and the Nipsey, let me throw it. That's it. Yeah, the Nipsey verse, and he needed, I didn't want to write this song, and that should have been the end of Nipsey on this album.
And that's the reason why I said the Sly interlude, I'd have cut that too, because even though it's a beautiful interlude, like the way it flows like that, at the same time, we're kind of just wasting time, bro. Like, we're talking about 4 songs that's either Nipsey on it or Nipsey related. It's like, bro, I get it, RB to the homie, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we need to chop this down just a tad bit. You feel what I'm saying?
No, most definitely.
He should have treated Welcome Home, and I didn't want to write this kind of like
a 2-part song, maybe.
Exactly, like Dying of Thirst. It should have been, because the song felt so incomplete. And I think Welcome Home was only like what 3 minutes,
Something like that,
3:10 maybe.
He could have
ended it right where that part where I said it feels like Nipsey's part is incomplete, and then did a slow transition and just did the first verse from I Didn't Want to Write This Song.
Yeah, that actually probably
and then
that
closed out. I feel like that would have been a very effective record.
Marsha Ambrosia on the hook, bro.
You didn't have to take her out. She could have still been on it. She could have absolutely still been on it.
That's so
it was no more verse.
And then close it out with the hook, and then let Marshall Bro just kind of just play with the vocals right at the end and fade that bitch out. Bro, that song would have been so much more. Especially because that's right after Nip's verse.
He could have also used it. He could honestly could have ended the album with that track too.
Oh yeah,
I didn't want to write this. He could have ended the album with that, and that would have probably been, the period of it all. Like, okay, that's a perfect way to end the album, and it's not giving you too much. But I think overall, man, the album was dope, man. Like, I wasn't disappointed for it to be Game's last album.
Where does it fall for you?
This top 3, man. This top 3. Documentary, Doctor's Advocate. It right here, man. It's top 3.
I feel like LAX was before this.
I agree with you on that.
I said
This is number 4.
Yeah, no,
I agree.
And he has a catalog to have a top 4 and be like solid. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm not putting it in a particular order, but for me, documentary 2, Jesus Piece, and this.
Jesus Piece. Jesus Piece was my toss-up with this.
Alright, so if you're
that's
gonna like
just for
that,
me.
I'll go documentary, I'll go Doctor's Advocate, Jesus Piece, and then this.
2-4.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a solid 4.
That's not bad.
No, like easy.
I would definitely say it's his 4th best album, but I mean, he went in order as far as how his best albums, from the best being documentary to the 3rd best being LAX. Like, I feel like he went in the proper order that he's supposed to go in. I hope y'all enjoyed the review. Let us know how y'all felt about Game's last album. Also, let us know if this is the Game's last album. Or like Kev said, he's gonna pop up here and there and just merch shit. Are you gonna be excited for a Game feature after the official Game retirement? Let us know. Of course, you can find me, Big Los, at Big Los IG on IG.
And it's Kid Corey. You'll find me on IG at Over the Top LV.
Holla with Kev _. That's not my Instagram. My Twitter. Holla with Kev _.
Yeah, you can find me _Rick James 87 and Lace _Rhymes at Lace Rhymes Podcast too.
Your boy Jay Alonzo. You can find me on all the social media simply at I am Jay Alonzo. Holla at me.
And with that being said, turn my mic up every Friday. Make sure y'all check in. We out.